Hello students, my name is Bhavna Singh. I am working as an assistant professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. This is an online tutorial series on e-commerce. So let's begin today's session. Students, we have already discussed in the previous section about what is an intellectual property and what are the e-commerce securities. Now in this session, we will continue about what are the various threats for the intellectual property and what are the electronic commerce threats like client threads, and then we will discuss about the communication channel threads and server threads, which each of its advantages and disadvantages. So let's begin today's session. So the first topic for today's session is intellectual property threats. Before moving on further, we should understand that what is the meaning of this term threat. Threat means a possible danger that can cause any damage to our websites, or that can cause or that can harm any e-commerce business. So basically these are the danger, you can see, which are not good for our business or which are not good for any website. So how these dangers, how these threats are harming our intellectual property, we will discuss about this in this session. So as you already know that intellectual property are the creative ideas or the creative thoughts of a human mind, you can say. So these are the basic intangible or tangible products of a human mind. So intellectual property is a general term that includes all products of the human mind. And then intellectual property threats to intellectual property may come from an employee, a supplier, or a competitor. That means what is an intellectual property? Intellectual property is the creative ideas, or you can say the thoughts of a particular person. But how these threats can harm our ideas or our thoughts? So these are basically come from, it may come from an employee of a company, or it may come from a supplier, or it may come from one of your competitor in the market. And how these threats are able to cause harm to the intellectual property? It is very simple. It is through the internet only, because this is internet is the tempting target for intellectual property threats, because nowadays it is very much easy to reproduce an exact copy of anything. For example, you have published a website of your name, or you have published a online book of your name. So it is very much possible that someone can exactly reproduce an exact copy of your creative work and publish it with his or her name. So and the second thing is that people are unaware of copyright restrictions, so that is why they continuously using these kinds of threads or using these kinds of practices in order to harm the intellectual property. And many practices like copyright, you can say, or patents, you can say, or trademark, trade secrets, these are also provided by the government in order to provide the intellectual property rights, in order to protect these intellectual property. But then also it is very much possible that someone on the with the use of this internet can harm your websites, or can cause damage to your e-commerce business. Now these are the main threats to the intellectual property. The first one is cyber squatting. Cyber squatting means we are registering or using or buying up a domain name that uses the name of an existing business, or that uses a trademark of a particular business, with the intent to sell the names for the profit to those business. That means what is this practice? This practice is using a domain name with the intent of profiting from the goodwill of someone else trademark. So what these cyber squatters do these people, they register the URL, or they register the domain name with a false name or with a false trademark of the existing business. For example, they use misspelled similar domains in order to attract more and more visitors to their website. For example, there is a company called Dell. It also filed a complaint against another party in 2007, that party had registered the URL with a misspelling of the similar domains of the those owned by the Dell company, with the intention to capture more and more traffic from the people, those type or you can say those mistype the dellfinancialservices.com. So what they do, by buying up all these domain names that are closely linked with a pre-existing business, or you can say with the pre-existing trademarks, these cyber squatters, they want to get or want to profit more and more from these business, and they know that the the owners of those companies will pay a huge amount of money to acquire the URL back from these. But nowadays many legal options are also available that will help you to recover from all these cyber squatting related issues. The second one is the name stealing. This name stealing means that someone changes the ownership of the domain name that is assigned to a particular site, and they changes the name of the domain to another site and the owner. And once they are get done with this changing name or name stealing, then the name stealer, it can manipulate, it can easily modify all these contents of the site, or it sometimes it can steal the information also, or the confidential data from the site also. Then the next we have the name changing. Name changing means that someone intentionally registered misspelled variations of the well-known domain names in order to attract more and more consumers or more and more customers to their websites, who by mistake type wrong spellings, or who by mistake sometimes make errors in entering a URL. So these kinds of practices, or these kinds of name changing and name stealing practices, they are very much annoying to affect an online business, and they are very much done in order to confuse their customers, or in order to attract more and more customers to their websites. Now the next topic comes is the security threats to e-commerce. E-commerce means buying and selling of goods, or we are doing online transactions, or we are doing the business online with the help of internet. That means we are utilizing an internal network that is providing us interface with the world wide web. And the nature of this kind of business, it introduces internal and external risk to both the website and the business systems to which it is connected to. That means we are doing all the things, and we are doing all the transactions, we are doing online trading with the help of this network, that is the internet. And because of this internal and external networks that we are using for our business, it provides a risk to the website as well as to our business, that is connecting our business to the website. So all these kinds of threats, you can say, like stealing or fraud or security breach or money theft, data misuse, hacking, credit card frauds, all these threats, they are occurring with the help of this internet, and they are providing a damage, or they are causing a damage to our e-commerce business. So these are the various security threats that are suffering, or that are causing loss to our e-commerce. And because of this using internet, and because of this internal network that we are using, these are the main causes for providing all these threats to our business. Now, why these threats they cause damage to our e-commerce business? There may be some reasons. So these are the reasons that we will discuss one by one in detail. The first one is the inaccurate management. Inaccurate management means these threats might occur due to the poor management of the security features, or any other features which are related to the websites. And when the security is not up to the mark, it poses a very dangerous threat to the network as well as the business, which causes a huge loss to our e-commerce website and e-commerce business. Then the second, we have the malicious code threats. Code means that involves viruses or worms or Trojan horse. These are the viruses that mainly comes from the internet, or that mainly comes from the networks. So these viruses, they are normally external threats, and they can corrupt the files which are present on our website. And all the Trojan horse and all the worms, these are the viruses which are very dangerous for our files as well as for all the confidential data that is present on our website. Then the next, we have the hacktivism. Hacktivism means any kind of hacking activism. It can also include we are flooding an email address with so much traffic that it temporarily shuts down. That means we are doing a kind of hacking activity in order to make the server down, or in order to make the server shuts down. Then the next, we have the Wi-Fi eavesdropping. Wi-Fi eavesdropping is one of the easiest way in e-commerce to steal any personal data. And in this, there is a stealing of information which is shared over a Wi-Fi network, and it is not encrypted, or it is not protected in any ways. So because of all these reasons, the threats to our e-commerce business, or the threats to our e-commerce websites, it becomes very much easier. Now these e-commerce threats, they are categorized into these three main categories like client threats, communication channel threats and server threats. Now we will discuss each one of these threats one by one in detail in the coming slides. Now the first one is the client threads. Client threads means that is related to a client machine, or that is related to a particular personal computer, you can say. So it refers to the threads that a client or user is exposed to when it comes in contact with any activity given the nature of the web. And these client programs interpret data that are downloaded from arbitrary servers on the internet. These client threads, they come from active content, which are programs that are embedded transparently in web pages and that causes actions to occur. That means these type of threads, they mostly occur on the client machines or the user machines, and their main causes of these client threads is the malicious code, you can say, like any viruses like Trojan horse or worms or spywares. So all these kinds of viruses or malicious data or malicious code that they download from the internet, in that form they are downloaded on the client machine and causes the damage, or you can say a severe damage to these client machines. Now these are the various types of client threats that causes a damage to the client machine. Virus, Trojan horse, worms. You must be knowing that all these are the types of viruses, and you must have studied about them before also. So virus is nothing a computer program, but a piece of code, or you can say a computer virus that is loaded onto your computer, and it damages all your data or all your information on the computer, and they have the power to replicate themselves. That means if you have stored one file, then that file becomes multiple files, so they have the power to replicate themselves. Then the next we have the Trojan horse. Trojan horse are the programs, or these are the virus that performs a desired task, but along with that it also performs some unexpected functions. That for example, you have downloaded a game or you have downloaded any useful information from the internet, but that game or that another web page, that is, it can cause a huge damage to your files or huge damage to your data that is stored on your computer. Then the next we have the worms. Worms are the self-replicating programs, or you can say they does not need any host program to execute. So once they are downloaded to your computer, it's keep on replicating itself. So therefore it is advised that the clients, whatever they download from the internet or whatever they download from any other networks, they must scan for the malicious data and executable programs that are transferred from the server to the client, in order to prevent the huge loss to their data or to their confidential information that is stored on their computers. Now the next comes is the communication channel threats. Communication channel means which is providing a network, or which is providing a link between the source node and the destination node. So there are for example, when we want to pass a message between source node and the destination node, so there may be intermediate computers that are residing in between the source and the destination node on the network, and you cannot guarantee that every node that is present on this network is safe and secure, so that your message can safely pass through all these nodes. So these kinds of channel that are linking the source node to the destination node, sometimes they may cause some threats to the messages that is passing through these nodes. So therefore this internet is not at all secure, and it is as it is serving as an electronic chain that is linking a consumer to an electronic commerce resource. So we cannot say that the whatever information is passing through this internet, or whatever information or whatever message is passing through this communication channel is safe and secure, so that we can guarantee that all the transactions that we have doing, or all the messages that we are, or all the information that we are passing is secure. So it is possible that apart from these client threads that we are downloading in the form of viruses from some internet or some internal networks, so there might be possible or there might be possibility that some threats might occur from these kinds of communication channels. Now, these are the various kinds of threats that might occur due to these communication channels that we are using. The first one is the secrecy threats. Secrecy threats refers to the threats of some unauthorized information disclosure, or we are not sure about the authentication of the source from which the message is coming. Then the next we have the integrity threats. Integrity threats that means that some the message that is passing through all these intermediate nodes, they try to modify the data which is passing through them, or they try to alter the message stream of the information. So these are related to the modification of the data inside the internal channel. Then the next we have the necessity threats. These kinds of necessity threats, they try to disrupt the normal computer processing, or they provide the delay processing. Then the next we have the password hacking. Password hacking means the attackers, like the intermediate node that are present in between the source and the destination, they try to hack the passwords, or they try to guess the passwords, and by using that password, they try to steal the information. Then the next we have the availability threats. Availability threats also means that whenever we are requiring some information or some data, then at that time the data is not available, and they try to delay the entire process, or they try to delay the computer processing. So all these kinds of threats, they might cause a damage to the message that is passing through between the source and the destination node. So therefore we say that the internet is not at all secure, because many times it happens that whatever information or whatever confidential information we are passing, it may get attacked, or it may get hacked by these intermediate nodes. Now comes the third type of e-commerce threats, that is the server threats. The server is highly vulnerable and forms the threat link in the client internet server group, serving the electronic commerce path between the commerce server and a user. And these servers can be exploited by anyone determined to cause destruction or to acquire information illegally. That means these are the kinds of threats that can be occur, or that can damage the web server or its softwares, or that can attack the databases that are residing on the web servers, or any CGI programs that are residing on the servers. So all these web server, database, software, these are the vulnerabilities that can be attacked by these kinds of server threats. Now we will discuss the various types of server threats that can cause the damage to the server. The first one is the web server threats. Web server threats is caused when we set up a web server to run in a high privileged status, and many of the websites that we create, they run on these web servers, and web servers are nothing but these are also the computers that are running an operating system, and they are connected to the backend database, and they are responsible for running various applications. So any kind of attack, you can say, or any kind of vulnerability in these applications or the database or the operating system, it can lead to the attack on the web servers, and the web server, they entirely shuts down. So practices like you can say message spoofing, or you can say the denial of service or DOS attacks. So all these kinds of practices, they are followed in order to shut down the web servers temporarily. Then the next we have the database threats. Database threats are the damages or the possible threats that are related to the database, or that are related to the unwanted access of the data from the database. Then the next we have the CGI threats. CGI means common gateway interface, and this common gateway interface, it defines how the server and the browser, they are communicating with each other. Now what happens, the client, it sends request to the browser, and the browser, it forwards the request to the server, and then the server responds back to the browser, and then the browser forward back to the client. So this is how the communication between the entire client server and entire server browser takes place. So this CGI, it defines how these communication is taking place between server and the browser. So and this CGI script is a script that confirms the CGI standard. So if we provide any kind of damage to this common gateway interface, then it will automatically shut down the server as well as the browser. Then the next we have the denial of service. This DOS attack is an attack which is used or which is make one or more computer systems unavailable, and it targets a web servers, but it can use the mail servers or it can use the name servers. So any other type of computer system it can target and make that computer system unavailable, like message overloading, in which when someone sends a very large file to the message box of the server at every few seconds and making that server to shut down. And the another type of attack, you can say that the service overloading is also a DOS type attack that will occur due to the overloading of the server. Then the next we have the unauthorized eavesdropping. In this, what happens that hackers, they continuously watch the information or the data that is passing through the internet, and they use trap usernames, or you can say they use sometimes unencrypted passwords to send over that network in order to steal that information or in order to get access to that information. Then the next we have the DNS attack, that is the domain name system attack. In this, the attacker, or you can say the hacker, they take advantage of the domain name systems and all these vulnerabilities that they cause in this domain name system, like they register with the false domain name systems and they exploit the already existing businesses trademarks. Then the next we have the modification of messages. This kind of threats, it involves modifying an entire message packet or destroying that message packet completely. In this, the packet information, it can be modified, and all the contents that is present inside the packet, it all are all modified, and or you can say are all completely destroyed before the legitimate user can use them or before it reaches the destination node. So students, till now we have covered all the portions like security threats and what are the various types of security threats that can cause damage to our e-commerce business or that can cause damage to our websites. So all these threats we have discussed, and now we will discuss about the various preventions that can provide or that can protect these e-commerce threats. The first one is the encryption. Encryption means we are converting a normal text into an encoded text which cannot be read, or anyone except the owner cannot access that information without his or her permission, who sends or receives the messages. So whatever information we are sending on the either on the communication channel, or whatever information we are storing on the server or we are storing on the devices, that should be encrypted so that any unauthorized person cannot access it. Then the second, we can use the concept of digital certificates. These are the certificates that are issued by a reliable third party company, and these certificates, they contain the name of the company, the most important like SSL connections or SSL certificates they are contain, and only most of the information like the digital certificate serial number or its expiry date and date of issue, all these things they are mentioned in that digital certificates. And the main function of these kinds of digital certificate is to protect your e-commerce website from any unwanted attacks, such as someone that is like the intermediate nodes or man in the middle or anyone attacker. All these things, they are protected with the help of these digital certificates. Then the third one, what can we do? We can perform a security audit also, which is a routine examination of the security procedures for the firm, and we need to we need to examine the entire websites routinely or regularly so that any kind of security breach can be identified easily. So students, these are the important questions that you all have to prepare based on today's session. The first one is the explain various types of intellectual property threats that we have already discussed, like cyber squatting and name stealing and name changing. All these threats you have to explain in this question. And the next question we have that what are the reasons of e-security threats, explain how they can be eradicated. Means you have to explain the various reasons that we have already discussed, like poor management or inaccurate management, and how they can be removed, like using the process of encryption or digital certificates that we have already discussed. So you have to prepare all these questions because these are important from the exam point of view also, and many times they have also asked in the exams. Now students, it's time to end the session here only. I hope you have understood all the concepts well that we have discussed about unit 2 and all the topics that we have discussed in unit 2. In the next session we will start with unit 3. Till then, you all take care of yourselves and keep learning. Thank you so much for watching.